Okay, folks, I am so very excited and over the moon happy to be able to introduce to you my most favorite and most beloved splash petal cattleya in the entire galaxy. And here she is now. And this beautiful gal is an RLC Karen Marie Sellers, and she is crossed with an RLC Hawaiian Lightning and also an RLC Arabesque. And even looking at her from a distance, you can still see that she indeed is large in size. This particular Cattleya right here stands at about 2 feet tall, and she can get even larger than that. So if you want to grow her comfortably, you indeed are going to need ample space to be capable of doing just that. And her pseudobulbs can actually mimic canes because they grow so long and tall. And if we look throughout the plant, we will see that she only grows one leaf per pseudobulb, so indeed she is unifoliate. And a wonderful trait that this orchid has is the fact that it loves to reward you with lots and lots of blooms. And once the orchid is mature enough, it can reward you with those gorgeous blooms from each and every pseudobulb. So indeed, you are going to get a magnificent amount of these gorgeous and spectacular blooms from this orchid. Now this Cattleya right here is pretty easy to care for and is quite an aggressive grower. So she can become rather large and massive, becoming a specimen orchid in no time. Also, she loves to get the same care as your average everyday Cattleyas. So she loves that bright indirect sunlight. Also, she loves to be watered perhaps once or twice a week in a pot, allowing a little bit of dry time in between. Of course, if she is mounted, you're going to have to water her a little bit more frequently, and because she has so many blooms on her, to give her optimum care, it is best to fertilize her on a regular basis to ensure that once she is established, she can bloom from every pseudobulb, rewarding you for your care. And speaking of spectacular blooms, she indeed is a phenomenal orchid, as you can see right here. And her blooms are about 5.5 inches in diameter. But as you are also seeing, you are seeing a bouquet of blossoms right there. So she can bloom multiple blooms on one spike, and those blooms are at a nice size. This one in particular actually has 5 blooms right here. And 5 flowers have already opened up, and she actually has 1 bud left right there to open. So yes, she is quite a phenomenal bloomer. And even looking at her from a distance, you cannot argue that she is quite mesmerizing. As soon as you step into the room, you will take notice of this very standout orchid. She indeed demands your attention, and which she fully deserves, because she is so vibrant and rich in her colors, very extreme, and she is also very bold in her patterns. So many wonderful and beautiful things going on with this orchid that you will want to take a closer look, in which you will become even that much more intrigued. And taking a closer look at these phenomenal petals right here, you are going to notice so many things going on. In the backdrop, there is that beautiful sunshiny yellow that actually appears to be breaking through that overlay and top layer of that beautiful magenta raspberry color. And in that raspberry color, it actually appears that this blossom has been splashed with a beautiful magenta color paint, or perhaps even spray painted. But indeed, all together with these combination of colors, also with the patterns and the splashes and the flaring, is just so spectacular. And taking an even closer look at these petals, you are going to notice that there are extreme veining going on. You are also going to notice that within that extreme veining, you're noticing some spottings and also some frecklings in there as well. So definitely just accentuating and adding yet another dimension. And if we take a look at her gorgeous lip and tongue area right here, we are also going to notice that very bright and extreme and intense sunshiny yellow. And in the tongue area, it is even far more intense than on the actual petal area. As you can see, just a very rich and vibrant yellow right there. Also, you are going to notice that in the center right here, a very nice striation pattern going on, and that magenta actually turns into a reddish color with a backdrop of that beautiful yellow. So indeed, two variations of color, your magenta and then turning into that beautiful red right there against that yellow. Also, one of the beautiful things that I love about this, take a look at that. At the bottom with that beautiful raspberry magenta, you are also going to notice quite a ruffling going on in the outskirt of the actual lip area. Look at all those ruffle, folks. And it extends out to the sides as well. Very ruffled right there, making this so elegant, so wonderful, so beautiful, and just accentuates the gorgeousness of this blossom. So even in the tongue and lip area, so many bells and whistles, so many beautiful and wonderful things going on. Also wanted to make sure that I mention that the petals actually have a nice curving effect. You're going to notice that they curve somewhat backwards. Also, you're going to notice on the petals that the ruffling also carries through as well. So definitely nice dimension in the shape of this Cattleya. Now, an interesting fact about this Cattleya that I believe should be noted is that each and every blossom may not be created equal in the regards of the color and also the patterns. As we take a look at these petals right here, you are noting that the dominant color right here is actually the magenta raspberry color, and only a hint and a splash of that yellow. But if we take a look at this bloom right here, you are actually going to notice that the dominating color is that yellow and also that pastel pink, and you are noticing just a little less of that magenta raspberry color that you can see in this one. So definitely there may be a variation in the bloom color and the pattern, definitely making the bouquet and the display just that much more interesting. Okay, so with everything already said, I want to go ahead and reiterate the fact of why I consider this the epitome of splash petal orchids. Okay, so this orchid right here, I told you, is a very nice size bloom on here. You are also going to notice that there is quite a cluster of blooms, creating a tremendous size of a cluster right here. So it's going to give you quite a bold, extreme, standout, and demanding attention display. I mean, all eyes on me when it comes to this orchid. And as we can see on this beautiful bouquet of blossoms right here, she can give you bloom after bloom after bloom, especially in the fact that once she is mature and established, she loves to bloom off of every pseudobulb. So you can expect to get a magnificent amount of these stunning and very striking blooms. Very beautiful and bold, extreme colors in this Cattleya bloom. Also, you are going to get many dimensions of patterns going on. You have the ruffling effect, you have the splashes, you have the flares going on. You also have, which I forgot to mention, a very strong and very beautiful fragrance from this orchid as well, reminding me somewhat of a lemony, orangey, creamsicle type of scent. So she is indeed going to entice your senses. And I am telling you folks, she indeed is an orchid that is large and in charge. She is what I am considering the epitome of splash Petal Cattleyas, a true masterpiece. She's cream of the crop, top of the line, and if there was an orchid gallery, she indeed would be displayed as numero uno in the splash petal kingdom. Indeed, she is that striking and just that stunning. And I will mention that I did spend quite a pretty penny on this orchid, but I also want it noted that it was worth every last pretty penny that I spent on her. You see, this is an orchid that is not so widely available on the market, so you're not gonna find her everywhere. As a matter of fact, she is a little bit hard to find. I actually had 2 of this and I sold one. I actually was gonna sell this one as well, but then I decided to go ahead and wait to see what her blooms would actually look like. And when she bloomed, oh me, oh my, I did not want to part with her. I couldn't, folks. So this is actually one that I decided to keep. I haven't even told my husband, so you guys keep it on a hush-hush, on a lowdown, folks, okay? Or I will have to kick you out of the My Orchid Adventure Club. I'm telling you I will. But yeah, so I haven't even told him that, but indeed there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is mine, all mine, because indeed I love her so. So if you do have the opportunity of seeing one of these, I would definitely recommend, if you are into splash petals, to go ahead and snatch it up right away. Again, she is not widely available, so if you can get your grubby little orchid loving hands on her, you will definitely appreciate it and you will not regret a thing. How could you? She has everything going on, nothing missing, and definitely nothing lacking in this orchid. What an abundance in beauty right here. I have to tell you, she is just so exciting, so thrilling, and so much fun to have. And not to forget to mention that she is also scrumptiously and deliciously fragrant, making this orchid so tropically delicious. Yum, yum. And there you have it, folks. That is a complete Orchid in Review wrap for this Karen Marie Sellers. Now you gotta tell me exactly what you think about this orchid right here. And do you guys think she is indeed worthy to be kept? Because I think she is indeed a keeper. Now if you guys also have some splash Petal Cattleyas, or you know of some that you think are quite spectacular as well, please be sure to let me know. I sure would love to see them. I am so totally getting into the groove with splash Petal Cattleyas, so please be sure to share those comments below. And of course you can also post those pictures on my Facebook as well at My Orchid Adventures, because I sure would love to see them. I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of My Orchid Adventures, and as you guys already know, indeed I truly do love and appreciate you guys all. Mwah.